Hello everyone, this is CJ992 and today we're back for another brand new video and just when you think you've seen it all, just when you think you've said it all, just when you think after 10 years of sitting here, me and thee, discussing the highs and the lows of this football club, someone comes around and reminds me that there's still so much to actually experience and go through and discuss, ladies and gentlemen, because what we witnessed tonight was something truly incredible as it looked for a large majority of that game like it was going to be disgruntled, like I was going to have to sit here like Santa Claus and say every single one of these Rangers players are now on the naughty list, or they're getting some lumpy coal and hopefully their contracts getting ripped up. But thankfully I'm spared for that drama, people. Nah, because now they're all back on the nice list, people. They're all getting what they want because they went and delivered what was a truly incredible moment and a very, very vital 3 points as we scored 2 goals in the last minute and a half of a game of football that turned our frowns well and truly upside down. And you know, I'll be honest with you, normally if I'm like driving home for the game or if I'm getting driven home for the game, depending who I'm going with, etc., I start to kind of formulate a thought or an idea or a pathway I'm going to sort of go with on the videos. Then I sit down and I film it. I have just barely been able to touch the cheeks on to the surface, people, because I have been bouncing about rotten. So this game recap might be absolutely horrific because I have no idea where we're going, which is probably fitting when you think of that game because that's how it felt like it. But aye, before I get lost in the Connor Goldsons, in the Malik Tillmans, in the Ryan kids, before I get lost in the Ranger side of today's video, let's take a brief second, you know, because I try and be as honest as I can, and if something goes wrong, I call it out. If something goes right, I call it out. If somebody plays bad, I call it. And I try and be as fair as possible right here on the channel. And you know, I have to look back and take my emotions out of it. Just put it to the side right here for a second and hold my hands up. Say, you know what? Aberdeen looked in flashes like Argentina at the World Cup this afternoon. That's right, people. I went ahead and said what I said. There was real flashes of Argentina in the 2022 World Cup the night for them up at Pittodrie, and obviously not in terms of footballing ability or any technical ability of any kind. I'm talking about the ability to concede 2 goals in the space of 1 minute. By God, is it glorious? They were singing, they were chanting, they were doing what they were doing. And now, they're all very, very silent. You could say the Scotty Arfield silenced the lambs. Come on, it's Christmas, people. Get the dad jokes in. Get the dad jokes in. I know, it was awfully bad. Like, really, really bad. I'm sorry, Trips. I'll try and compose myself. Oh, right. What are we here to talk about? Oh, aye. Rangers 3, Aberdeen 2. Right, I'm not serious. I take this job very seriously, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all calm ourselves down. Let's have a breather. And let's talk about this game of football then, shall we? It did have drama right to the very, very... Can I say bad? Because it was cheap. Oh man, I'm finished. I'm just over. I'm finished, people. But aye, getting in to the game recap, there was only one major change to the starting 11 from the game versus Hibs, of course, and that was Connor Goldson getting back in the starting 11. CB number 1. And can we just say, people, he was in one game. Did he look rusty on occasion? Yes, people, alright? He's about 4 weeks ahead of schedule. He's not at 100%, but he wants to play for us. It's been said, it's been reported. Even at the Hibs game when he had a session and a half, people, this man heard that Leon King was going to miss the Hibs game because of an illness. He phoned Michael Beale and says, I'm playing versus Hibs. Michael Beale and the coaching staff had to talk Connor Goldson out and explain to him he can't, under any circumstances, play in that Hibs game. So he gave it a few days and then he's back in the starting 11 there. And you know what, not only was he back there, and again he dealt with a couple of things well, not really a perfect performance, there was a couple of other wee moments, but you can see there is genuine rust in there. But the big man was there when it mattered the most, and he got the game winning assist to Scotty Arfield. So to the returning Connor Goldson, before we get lost in anything, welcome back, big man. We have well and truly missed you. And speaking of missing you, actually gives us the perfect transition in to the game recap, people, because is anyone else paying attention to the fact that Ryan Kent is literally on flames right now? The boy is well and truly back now that he's been released from the horseshoe shackles. He's back doing Ryan Kent things. He's playing centrally, he's drifting left, he's drifting right, he's doing whatever he wants. How many times a night, people? He's being the Ryan Kent we know he can be in. I know he'll probably get lost in a lot of the shuffle because Scotty Arfield will get a lot of the headlines and that, and rightly so with the 2 late goals, but I genuinely thought that the majority of this game, Ryan Kent was outstanding. There was about a 15-minute spell in the second half where it looked as if he was starting to peter out and it was done regarding his influence in the game because Aberdeen was parking the bus. But then again, he pops up with the moment to get us back in at 2-2. So for me, I didn't want him to get lost in the shuffle, but Ryan Kent, absolutely outstanding, big man. His performances like that has me sitting back watching this laddie saying, that's the guy that's got monster running through the actual veins, people. It's no A, it's no B, it's no AB positive, it's monster original gone through Ryan Kent's veins. So special shout out to him. He was outstanding, and a lot of the good work that we done in the opening 15 minutes of the game to get us in the front was on the back of Ryan Kent. Again, centrally, free of the shackles of the horseshoe, no bombed out wide or anything like that to be a supplier to the fullbacks to put the balls in the mix and all. Ryan Kent, go and do what you do. And I know this is kind of boring, mere boring stuff, and you'll not be real interested in this, but regarding Beale's impact and the changes he's making to the squad, do you notice that Kamara, Kent and Tillman are always very close to each other? It's like Beale's went, right, that's the three maybe cleverest players that we've got, the most technically creative players that we've got, and he just has them implementing and changing with each other whenever they want because he trusts them and trusts their ability that they'll see the right pass that needs to be made, or they'll create the space that needs to be created. You can see it as night and day for me, people, watching this Rangers team, how Kamara is playing now under Beale than where he was, where it looked like he couldn't be bothered under Gio, getting subbed off at half time and everything like that regarding his time at Gio. But now he's actually got an impact, and again you can see the building blocks. Again, we're not finished, it's not a done deal, it's no everything's A-okay, and we'll talk about that the longer we watch today's video, but you can see the building blocks starting to get put into place, and that's three very creative players who I thought were excellent for the majority of this game, if I'm honest with you. But let's go ahead and talk about the first goal of the game then, shall we? Because there is so much to talk about. And how do I explain this goal? How do I break down this goal properly for you at home to know what we're actually talking about? The best way I can think right off the noggin, ladies and gentlemen, is it's probably the most Sakala goal that there'll ever be since he scored a cross and dropped a Sue on someone. You know what I mean? Remember that? Mine, he scored a cross and then sued. Yeah, that was like that. But in terms of not really a wonder goal and that, but it was just the way it things, it just makes me laugh because Ryan Kent actually does very well to win us a corner again after beating a couple men. It's a poor whippage for Tavernier, who I thought had a poor game overall, man. He spent more time doing than my internet when I'm playing Foot Champs, ladies and gentlemen. He was all over the shop. They looked like Will Ferrell and Blades of Glory for the majority of that game. But Ryan Kent does well to win the ball back, drives forward, beautiful ball in behind the Aberdeen right-hand side of the defence. Morelos, very good ball into the mixer. Picks out Sakala. Take a touch, big man, have a pop. But Sakala takes a touch. Honestly, it's like he's juggling with the ball for a couple minutes, people, but hits off him about 17 times. Then he has what probably is the worst shot that you'll ever see in the top flight of Scottish football, but it's met perfectly in terms of awfulness with the defensive clearance because he kicks it right to him. Honestly, it's so slow. It's so passive. You would think we were watching us a month ago, and the defender, for whatever reason, instead of kicking the ball away or reacting and punting it, he just taps it back to Sakala, and then Sakala has a great goal, but it's all the madness in between that makes it the most Sakala goal of all time. But it doesn't matter how it goes into the back of net as long that it does. So Fashion Sakala's back-to-back goals now for Rangers. We like that, Sakala. let's tidy up the rest of it. You know what I mean, big man? But before we get there, before we speak about some of the frustrations in the game, I want to talk about Malik Tillman, the man who must have eagles inside his heart. There's no a heartbeat, there's no, he's got that dog in him. No, he's got eagles carrying the American flag in that man's chest. If you slapped him in an x-ray, that's all you would see. Because again, I think he's a phenomenal player. And again, I'm seeing so many people criticising him, wanting him punted at half time, wanting him dropped for the squad, and I don't get it at all. I'm probably against a lot of people again who's going to be in the comment section shouting at me and screaming at me and that, but I just didn't get it. When I look at this laddie, I see one of the very few players in this team with the creativity to actually get on the ball and no be rash, no panic, no try something too quickly. He just has the ability to slow the game down and then turn it on when he feels it needs to be done. And look at the amount of times he had 3 or 4 Aberdeen players on him at a time. This lad is 20-year-old and he's not getting double teamed. People, go back and watch the game, watch the highlights. He's got 3 players on him at 20 years old. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that in a Rangers shirt for a very, very long time. I love Hadji and his creativity probably matches the likes of Tillman right now, but just the way that teams go out their way to stop him from playing and have guys on him right away, I've never seen it for a long time. But again, I might be talking a lot of nonsense because I know a lot of people didn't like him, but he really created the chance that should have made it 2-0 before any of the madness happened in this game, because he gets the ball at the edge of the box. He doesn't beat 1. He doesn't beat 2, he doesn't beat 3, he beats 4 Aberdeen players, and he doesn't even break a sweat doing it. He just dribbles all the way by them, and he gets to the byline and picks out Alfredo Morelos 6 yards out, who, to be fair, does a nice touch and a good turn, but it's a poor shot. It's hit directly at the goalkeeper. If he's a bit more clinical, we have a Cholak in there, it's probably 2-0, maybe game, set and match, but we didn't take our chances, and when this Rangers team doesn't take its chances with the way it is back there, there's always room for worry. So despite how promising Tillman was, despite how fantastic Kent was, we are always 1 ball away from conceding right now. And we should have, around about the 23rd minute of the game, as a ball comes in, it drops to the Aberdeen player and he has a free strike at goal, and it should be in the back of net, it should be 1-1. It's an absolute sitter. But thankfully, we had to get away with that. And then there was more good movement for Ryan Kent, skilling and thrilling, dropping Ryan Kent shimmies, as we like to say here on the channel. But every time, the warning was there, because despite Goulton being back in there, and again, he wasn't perfect when I thought, but he added something. They were still going after Sands back there because he's not overly comfortable in that position. The balls were coming in, it was bouncing off him, he wasn't getting up, they were running at him, everything like that. And again, young Devine had a wee bit of a tougher game in that as well, but I'm not going to sit here and dig him out. We know the circumstances that he's playing. The next major opportunity in the game ended up being a nearly moment where I think people are talking about it's a handball to Tav here, but I don't think he handballs it at all. Like, maybe I'm losing my mind. Am I getting old? Probably. I mean, technically, we're all getting older. Not to drag the moods in. Maybe I should, people. Maybe we should have a 1v1. Anyway, it's a ball that comes into the mixer. Tavernier, I think it hits his shoulder or something like that. That was, end up getting rebound off the post, and then the Aberdeen player has a shot, puts it wide, but somehow it's a corner kick. They'll complain about hitting Tavernier's shoulder, but no Aberdeen getting a corner that wasn't a corner. That's the way it works. But you could feel it coming. It was starting to get sour a minute or two before the end of the half, and then Sakala, who got us in the lead, was so bad here with the ball. His possession's terrible, his attempted pass is awful. They end up doing a counter-attack, and James Sands comes in and nails the Aberdeen player from behind, stopping the direct thing, doing the right thing for the squad and for the team, by the way. But it's a free kick then, and you think to yourself, right, 45th minute, last time, they were already showing highlights saying Madison's free kick and everything like that, and you're thinking, oh no, I've just got a bad feeling about this. And then I saw McGregor's position. I'm going to show you right now, right? So this was his positioning, right? This is his post. That's his other post. So he's here, right? And I'm thinking, that's too much a gap there. Is he trying to bait him into going that way so he doesn't hit it straight at him? And then the boy, instead of going for the massive space there, hits it straight where McGregor is, here. And he should be able to get there, but he takes one step and then he just gets beat. He's off his line, ironically, people. The guy that never comes off his line is off his line. For me, it's horrible goal he conceded. And again, it's on the keeper. And I'm sick to death that we've got to a situation that we need to look at a bona fide legend in this football club. For me, one of my favourite all-time players, I've said that many times, he's 40 years old. The fact that we continue to put him in these positions where he isn't the McGregor of old, he's going to continue to make these mistakes. He's going to continue to get slaughtered. He's going to continue to concede poor goals like that. But it's us, it's the club that's done it. We have drove us into this situation, and it's a disgrace to be treating a club legend and being this. He was given his goodbye at the end of last season. Again, I didn't care what anyone says now and after the fact and all the PR answers we get. He got his goodbye, Figio, but we penny pinched in the summer and gave him a new deal, and then when it didn't work out, and the first sign it didn't work out under John McLaughlin, we bombed McLaughlin out the squad, put McGregor back in, and has he been any better than McLaughlin was besides the Celtic game? Answers on a postcard, people. But I just didn't like the fact that we continue this. We badly need a new keeper. And, you know, I sit back and I look at every time we concede a poor goal and saying, why did we extend young Robbie McCrory's deal to 2025 if we're never going to play him? If he can't get any this Rangers squad right now with the standard of goalkeeping that we have seen, there's no point in my personal opinion. I thought he was brilliant in his last game for Rangers when he played versus Celtic, made the 2 1v1 saves versus Kyogo, kept a clean sheet. He's the last Rangers goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet versus Celtic, but we didn't ever see him. So I just wanted to voice my opinion on that. I know I was probably going to get lost. People's like, right, can I get to some of the goals and everything like that? But the goalkeeping position is a major issue that's continued to haunt us right now. We need to do something, and I just feel like we've reached a point where could it be any worse giving young Robbie an opportunity? And I don't know why on a free kick that's 22 yards out that he's so far off his line anyway. It doesn't really make sense to me. But we move on, people. We go in at half time, and yet I'm still feeling encouraged because I thought, right, it was a much better first half we put in versus Aberdeen away than we did in our last game at home versus Hibs. So I was expecting the same type of performance out from the traps, us going at it, but it didn't happen at all. It was Aberdeen that came out angry. It was Aberdeen that was trying things, and by trying things I mean feigning injuries, diving constantly. Like Duke, he scored a wonderful free kick, and I think he's a very good player, people. I've looked at him a lot, we've discussed it on the channel, but I haven't seen one game of that laddie where he's no dived at some point. Needs to get that out of his game, man. It's absolutely putrid to watch, but he tries to dive, no one's buying it. Again, there's VAR, so I didn't really understand what he's thinking, but even that, it didn't annoy us, you know what I mean? We were still just trying to catch up with the momentum, the anger and the frustration that Aberdeen felt. Maybe the excitement as well. We conceded scoring just before half time. They came out angry, they wanted it, and then they got the lead in the game. And obviously I was speaking on social media, I wanted James Sands subbed off at half time for Davies, not necessarily because he was playing horrific or anything personal to him, but I was thinking, one, it's Willie Collum, our centre mid / centre back is on a yellow card. That there isn't a very nice combo, ladies and gentlemen. I was nervous about that, and I thought he broke nerves into the second half. He had a kind of pullback where you could see him looking at the referee, and I was going, oh no, is he getting sent off? But he didn't get it. It was more of a kind of coming together when he's actually end up falling down and pulling the boy down by an accident. But then he gets punished for a real poor bit of defensive play, and it's very similar to how we opened the scoring in the game. It's a kind of ball. Tavernier gets beat far too easily again. The ball goes towards the box. It's so slow. And just like we talked about the Aberdeen defender, Big Stewart, I believe it was, he tries to just pass it right back to Sakala. Well, he's not trying to do that, but you know what I mean. He just passes it back to Sakala. Sams does that to Clarkson, I believe it actually is. He just passes it straight to him. And to be fair, it is kind of an outside of the fit volley. It's a very, very good strike. If I'm hitting that, I'm celebrating and I'm loving life. But it's not in the corner. McGregor's positioning, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? People, do you know what I mean? I'm sick of looking at it right now. We're somehow 2-1 down. You're gone back. It's 2 horrific goals conceded. Another goal that we've just handed to the opposition. And the whole entire game changed like that. The confidence was zapping for the Rangers squad. Aberdeen were looking more like the defensive side that they played versus Celtic. They were falling down. They were holding down. I mean, in the space of 4 minutes and 42 seconds? 4 minutes and 42 seconds, because I wrote this down because that's how angry and bitter I was. Aberdeen had 3 players in 4 minutes, people, gone down pretending they were injured, and yet they're wanting to sit and complain about 7 minutes getting added onto the having a laugh. As soon as one of them came back up, Arnollian dropped down, but again, that's the dark arts of football. So Aye, they continued to time waste. We kept prodding along. We never really go anywhere. But again, how ironic is it that all the dark arts, all the time wasting, all the pretending you're injured. Oh, my hip's here for the goalkeeper. Let me throw that out and spend 4 minutes on the ground. All that time wasting supplied Rangers with enough time to come back and win this game. Is that right there? No, delicious. But what wasn't it delicious, people? Because despite the outcry of a Tavernier handball, which again for me it looked like it hit his shoulder for the angle on the telly. I'm not sure if I'm wrong. I hold my hands up as I always do and I correct myself. But there's so much outcry about a handball for Aberdeen. It's an absolute disgrace. Are we talking about the 55th minute of the game or not? Because Kamara does brilliantly, sliding a ball in to Alfredo Morelos, who's all the time in the world. And I think he hits a shot here. I know some people are saying he's trying to cross it to Kent, but when's Morelos ever crossed it inside the box, people? You know what I mean? For me, this is a shot that he mishits. But anyway, it goes right across the box. And McCrory just jumps up and he moves his arm towards the ball. I get that it's downwards, but he's moved it towards it and he's controlled the ball and stopped it from landing at Ryan Kent's feet. It's a clear as day penalty by the new rules. For me, it's never a penalty in the old rules that I grew up with playing football and even watching football, and wasn't it a handball 5 years ago? But this new BS rule, the handball rule that we conceded in European football this season, people. Remember when it hit off Davis, he's back, and Goldson's here, and it hits him, and it's somehow a penalty. In the new age law of handballs, we should have had a penalty, but you'll not hear a whimper. I promise you, you'll not hear a whimper about that. But I can guarantee you'll hear about Tavernier's handball, and you'll hear about Connor Goldson's handball, even though it hit him right in the old chesticles, people. I just wanted to mention it very briefly because that's actual fair reporting. We should have had a penalty. But thankfully, incompetent referees aren't the discussion point today. They do not get the headlines today because Rangers made changes. Michael Beale made changes and he went for it and he took every bit of the handbrake possibly off to go for it, and he brought on Davies for Sands, and for me that changed the game completely. Again, having even two centre-backs at 5% offers so much more than what we've currently been doing. Now, to be fair, Aberdeen did have one more opportunity to really kill the game off when Connor goes and tries to chest it down to Ben Davies, but Ben Davies slips again. Can we maybe wear football bits next week instead of gym shoes? Remember the old gym shoes you used to have at high school, primary school when you were running about inside? That's what we were playing on the day. Davies falls and Johnny Hayes, Pizza the Hut, has a volley and it thankfully goes a whisker, his whisker wide, and you're thinking, right, we got away with that, but we got anything else? Well, we nearly did get a slice of luck when the two Aberdeen defenders kind of tackled each other. The ball ricochets to Arfield. Arfield in behind has a volley that's somehow saved by the goalkeeper. And Scott Wright is the first one to react, people. Scott Wright. Where's Morelos in this situation? That's where I want my striker. I mean, imagine Morelos had the striking instincts and a Scotty Arfield. Imagine where we would be right now. But Scotty tries to get there, but it's actually a very good defensive block from Ross McCrory as he gets it off the line and out, and you're thinking, is that the chance? Is that the chance? Well, Malik Tillman 5 minutes later, around about the 83rd, 84th minute of the game, got involved. Great little first touch. Again, two men on him right away. Arfield run round the back of him. Tillman plays him in behind the defence again, inside the box, but Arfield does what he always does. He hits it straight at the goalkeeper, and that he's had two chances, two at the goalkeeper, and you're thinking, well, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a game, set and match. The clock tickles. Aberdeen's gone down. Lundstrom gets booked for kicking a ball too hard at an Aberdeen player. Aberdeen get a free kick when Johnny Hayes headers Tavernier. I'm going to say that again for everyone at the back. Johnny Hayes gets given a free kick for headering Tavernier, and it looks like it's over. But Ryan Kent refuses to let this game go away. Again, he's willing not to just pass it wide and hope a cross comes in. He's willing to have a shot from range and be the guy to get us back in it. Now, is the shot great? No, people, but if you shoot, you score, or a goal ends up coming from it because it's a shot from outside the box. The goalkeeper tries to get down to it. I believe he hits it off his own knee, and then Scotty Arfield again with the striker's instincts that only Cholak has and Roof has at this football club to get in the right place. Hits it straight at the goal again, but it's back in to the net, and then it's 2-2, and you're thinking, right, we need another one. Is it possible? I tweeted out, cool, give me another one. people. And by God, did we go ahead and do that with one of the maddest moments of football and the maddest moment of the SPFL this season. It's Tillman down the right hand side. I need to get up again, people. The glutes are on fire right now, because what he does, right, is he gets the ball at the edge of the box. 20-year-old, he's just walking like this. He's taking me Johnny Hayes with him, and he's just walking him about the park like this, back and forth, takes him a walk for about 2 minutes, whips the ball into the mixer. I think Big Stuart ends up getting the header to it, and then it comes in and it hits Goldson. Here, look, people, here. Is that a handball? No. It's the chest. It's the chest. Even if it was a handball, I'd call it the hand of the people. But anyway, it drops to Scotty Arfield, who hits it into the ground. It loops over the goal. Of course, it's straight at the goal. Of course it is. It's Scotty Arfield. But it's in. And we've won the game. People, we have scored 2 goals in the space of 60 seconds of the game. And I'm gone at this point. This is why I've got so many grey hairs at my age, people. You know what I mean? This is why we're grey. But I wouldn't change it any other way. People, what a game, what an ending, what a 3 points. And now that's back-to-back games for Mr. Michael Beale, finishing in a 5-goal thriller. It's a 5 versus Hibs, and it's a 5 versus Aberdeen. Slap that together, and that's a timely wee reminder for Michael Beale himself that he helped deliver. 55 in his first 2 games, he's dropped another one. Thank you, Michael Beale. It's very, very exciting watching your football club, but as much as I've enjoyed the dramatic comeback 3-2s in the second half and everything like that, I wouldn't mind a wee boring 2-0 win versus Ross County on Friday. You know what I mean? Just that boring, state-of-the-art, 3 points up the road. Let's do that, because this ticker here isn't making it to New Year if this continues, Mr. Michael. But honestly, people, that's all I've got to say. It was game, set and match again. Good wins greeting, and I absolutely loved to see that. And I loved that Michael Beale's reaction. Go and look at it. I think I tweeted it in that as well. We scored a 97th minute comeback winner versus Aberdeen. Good wins on his knees greeting people, hitting the ground. What's Michael Beale doing? Michael Beale is still shaking his head, annoyed at the standard that we've played and the game plan that we've played and how we've actually played in this game. He's fuming at how this Rangers team has played, because this man has standards. Seeing that and seeing him not losing his head and becoming a happy clapper because we ended up winning the game says a lot about this lad, and again reaffirms that we are well and truly in the right hands with this lad. Again, it's not going to be overnight, it's not going to be fantastic, it's not all done, we're all gravy. There's a lot. I think we need to say goodbye to a lot of the old heads in the squad and inject something in January. That's quite clear. We need a goalie, we need a left back that can play every week. We need a lot added to this team, but I feel like we've got a manager that understands the role, understands the good players in this team, and understands the standards of this football club. And I saw that with that lack of celebration in the 97th minute and the stone-faced aggression that he had because of how poor we played and let that game slip away. So, that's all I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen. It certainly wasn't a great overall game. There was large periods, especially in the second half, where we didn't perform at a level. But you talk about the mental attitude of the players and the character of these players, and do they want it? If Ryan Kent's no baller, he doesn't want to be here, or if well, now he's got a manager that actually believes in him and allows him to go and play the way he wants to play. It looks like he wants it. And big Connor Goldson in his first game back, 4 weeks ahead of where he's supposed to be, is in the box in the 97th minute to chest the ball down for a game winner. It's glorious, ladies and gentlemen. You could say it's a Christmas miracle, but we might need that line for Friday. You never know with this Rangers squad. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. My man of the match was clear as day, despite Scotty Arfield's 2 goals. And to be fair, I'm going to give it to Scotty Arfield anyway. But overall, Ryan Kent, spectacular in my opinion, and Tillman deserves a lot of love in that as well. And with that being said, I can't wait to see your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. Let us know, people, because I always get in the comments in the preview, but I always getting tweeted at saying, when's your show going live? Oh, can't wait for your show, CJ. All these digs as well. Let's go and celebrate and have some fun, people, because the show is now out and it's celebrating a 3-2 dramatic win. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been CJ over and into. Thank you so much for watching and saluting this night. No a normal goodbye. We're going to salute and bye-bye.